Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals. Welcome back to my channel. So here is the start of the series where I show you how I make a vintage sewing themed journal using these really fun sewing patterns. So I just get the pouches and turn them into covers. And then I do use some of the patterns to make pages as well. But here is a look at the covers that I've made. So in one of the previous videos I showed you what the pouches look like, and now this is what they look like now that they're turned into covers. So I'm using a glassine bag for the cover. They come from A Tattered Dream. You've probably heard me mention them if you follow my channel for a while a lot. That's where I get all of my glassine supplies from, glassine envelopes, glassine bags of all different sizes, but this is the craft one. There's only one craft type in her shop, so you'll be able to easily find that unless they're sold out, but she usually restocks them pretty quick. And then this was that wedding one I was telling you about that I've already made and gone to a new home. And as you can see on the back, I have added some fabrics and laces to all the covers as well. And then I was just showing you how I've already started collecting ephemera for the journals as well, because my process making these, I did them in bulk. So first of all I did all the covers. Sorry about the screen, I bumped the camera a little bit. But yeah, so now I am just grabbing my glassine bag and grabbing my pattern. So there's one left, and this is the one that I'm going to show you the start to finish process of how I make it. And then I think every now and then I'll also show you some videos of where I'm up to with the rest of the journals and making those in bulk. So there's my cat, Keanu, saying hello. And it's kind of fun going back in time because I filmed this ages ago, months ago now. This is how long it's taken me to finish these journals. I haven't even finished these journals yet. I've still got 5 left to make. But yeah, it's fun seeing my nails from back then. The pretty blue with the silver sparkles, the silver glitter. So anyway, first of all, I'm showing you what it looks like with the pages in bulk. So I'm kind of showing you 2 videos in one, I guess, how to make the cover and where I'm up to in this process. So yeah, fun just spending some days cutting up all of the pages, and this is what it looks like when I cut up the pattern pages from inside the pouches. So I definitely want to use all of them. So basically I turn them all into pages. I don't necessarily use every single page in the journals because that will give me too many pages then, and that's just some of the pattern pouches had white patterns and others had the brown, so I ended up using both for each of the journals just to give it variety and all that kind of thing. So anyway, emptied it all of its contents. Now I've just got the pouch, and now what I'm going to do is actually measure it down to size and just trying to line it up where I want it to go. So I think I want to include the word style there. And so I'm just going to get my ruler. So I don't have a paper trimmer, but I find that no problem. I find it very therapeutic just to use scissors, a ruler, and a pacer or a pen. And I'm just going to cut this down. It is a bit finicky, but I'm just trying to work out where I want it to line up and where I want it to show up on the cover. So I marked the top edge and now I'll mark the bottom edge. And if you're following along, let me know in the comments. I think some of you were saying you're excited for the series and you have some of these patterns, or you're going to be looking for some of these patterns, and that you're going to follow along. I know some of you will be following along the video series, but if you're going to actually make one at the same time, yeah, let me know. That's very exciting. And feel free to share photos of your journal that you're making in the WJ Facebook group page as well. And so yeah, just ruling down the side here, getting my straight edge. And what I want to do is then open it up because it has the front and the back. And now there's my front and back cover. Yay! It's sometimes difficult to match up because sometimes the picture is further across on one side, but I think this one works fine and I can just leave it as is. And then when I fold it in the middle, of the journal, the middle fold, doesn't line up with the middle of the pattern paper, or the pouch, sorry, but it will, the picture is just so that it will be nicely placed on the front cover. And then I just trim off the excess on the other side, and I like having, that other side there too, just has that added interest there. And then I grab my fabric and lace at the end, and then that's fun, just a fun way to use up scraps as well, because you don't need a big piece, and you can just layer them on, and that's fun. So I'm just using a Bostik glue stick to stick it down, but I will be going over it around the edges with the sewing machine just to reinforce it. And also it's a sewing journal, so I want to have some sewing featured on the cover and throughout the journal as well. So yeah, this is a Bostik glue stick, and I am covering the whole glassine bag just to prevent any bubbles and the paper lifting off. And then I can smooth that out, and then I can sew around the edges. So with this one, I'm looking, I'm always looking at the cover, and the cover tells me kind of what colours to use in the journal. So in this one, it'll be more of the blues, the teals, maybe a bit of white, like some white lace, and I've got some white eyelet fabric, and maybe a bit of yellow. So sometimes I go random, like sometimes I will just use any colours that I want. But usually what I do 9 times out of 10 is I'll use the colour as a reference guide as to what colours I will be using in the journal. But yeah, because it's quite fun finding fabrics and laces and trims that match the colour scheme of the cover. So here is a little basket where I just keep my scraps, and you know, there's some really tiny offcuts here, there's some larger, and I thought this piece matches the colour of that dress a bit. It's just a darker turquoisey teal. And then I'm getting some of the whites, the laces here, and yeah, it's just a matter of pulling different bits and pieces out and laying them over the top and figuring out where I want things. I can use blue again because of the dress, it has some blue tones, but mostly because of the colour of the background of that word style, you know, the blue there. So blue will always work with this journal. In fact, all of the covers, I think all of them had a bit of blue featured somewhere. And sometimes I go all out and I do lots of fabrics. Other times I just do a little hint here and there. Sometimes I put a pocket on the back. But yeah, here I just went with the blue and the white lace, it looks like, just trimming it up. And then I use my glue, just the clear craft glue, to just make it so that it doesn't move. So I don't glue it down everywhere, but just here and there, just to make sure it won't move when I take it to my sewing machine. So basically, yeah, just to hold it in place. And I like that combination, that's really sweet. Blue and white is one of my favourite colour combinations, if not my favourite. So yeah, just grabbing the glue and going to lay down a thin line straight down the middle, so that I can lay this over the top, and I'll go around the edges of this fabric. Yeah, I try not to get too glue happy when I'm doing this, because sometimes if I get a big lump of glue, the sewing machine, the needle won't go through it. So I try to be a bit light-handed with the glue here. So yeah, that's the cover, and now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'll cut to when the cover is finished with the sewing around it. And ta-da! Here it is. Sometimes I do use brown thread for more vintage look, but this one I ended up just using a cream thread. I either use black, cream or brown. They're my 3 go-tos. And then this is what it looks like. I love how you can see the stitching on the inside. I don't mind any missed stitches here or there. I like the handmade look to it, the homey feel, and a bit more rustic and loved. So that's the cover. I hope you have fun if you're following along making your own. And then I'll be back later on to share the next step in this process. And hope you are enjoying this series so far, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys! A big special thank you to all of my patrons who supported me in September. Thank you so much for making my creative dreams come true. If you would like to become a patron in October, I would be forever grateful, and you will get access to extra printables and videos, and depending on your tier, first preference for my journals, behind the scenes looks and updates. I'm also running my courses again in August, so there's the Willow Journal course, the Anchor Journal course, and the launch of the Art Journal course, so check the description box below for any of those details if you're interested. And I also have a Buy Me a Coffee donation option as well. You can check me out on Instagram and the Facebook group page where I put up updates and announcements, and there's the community page as well. Willowbound Journals exists to bring light and love into the world.